ready yet. I must wait a moment.
Using Tempest Roar, which turns your storm skills into werewolf skills. For the chess piece, I am using the one with the legendary aspect that increases your armor every time you deal any form of damage, stacking up to 50%, but mine is just 45%. If you have the unique chess piece that turns you into a werewolf, better. Okay, that's better, but it depends on your survivability if you would switch it to this one. Next one is for the gloves. I have the one with the legendary aspect. Earthen Might, E-passive, also applies to your storm skills. So you now know I have Earthen Might in this one. Now for the pants, it's Temerity. All the druids know about this. If you don't have this, it's kind of hard to pull this off in higher tier dungeons. You can do it in overworld, okay? But in higher tier nightmare dungeons, I would think doing a werewolf druid claw build would be really hard if you don't have this, because your survivability would be really bad. Okay, so now for the gloves, for the boots, I have Debilitating Roar is now a werewolf skill, so you would be able to use Debilitating Roar even in werewolf mode, so that's good. And next one is Great Staff of the Crone. Unique staff, which turns your claw into a storm skill, and every time you use claw, a storm strike happens. And for the amulet, I do have Rapid Aspect. Basic skills gain up to 45% attack speed. If you don't have this on your amulet, you can only get it up to 30%. Now for the ring, I have the one that increases Grizzly Rage duration. We all know why. The next one would be Grizzly Rage. So instead of turning into a bear, I turn into a werewolf. I get movement speed, and I get damage. Instead of damage reduction, I get movement speed and also spirit cost reduction, which is something that we don't actually need in this build because we don't use any core skills here. But what's good about this is any kill you do, you get 10% of your maximum life, which is nutty. Next that I'm going to explain would be the synergies that are happening here, because it's really beautiful. So let's start off with a weapon. So this one makes Claw into a Storm skill, okay? And also every time you do Claw, you get a Storm Strike. So 2 Storm skills happen in one click, okay? And we have here with the gloves, Earthen Might applies to your Storm skills. So Storm skills can now apply Earthen Might. And as you can see here, I'm going to go to the skill tab right here. Earthen Might is dependent on lucky hit. Claw is one of the most highest one with lucky hit chance in the Druid's arsenal. It has 50%, base 50%. Don't mind the 61% you're seeing right now. It's because I have, lucky hit chance stuff in my gloves and also my rings. And another thing that happens here is Storm Strike also has a decent lucky hit chance. So every time you attack, these two try to activate Earthen Might. And your attack speed in this build is a lot. It's fast. It's not as fast as when you have that artillery shrine, but it's fast. And what's good about this is I'm using in this build this thing, Wild Claw. So every around like 10 hits, you have the chance to attack twice. So then it further supports activating Earthen Might. That is the main reason why I went with Earthen Might with this Druid Claw build. It's very, very important. Really, really good for DPS. Okay? Now next would be the synergy of the weapon, the gloves with Earth and Might, with the headpiece. Okay? What is the importance of this? It turns your storm skills into werewolf skills. Okay? Claw is already a werewolf skill. No problem with that. Storm Strike, however, is not. All right? And also we have in this build Hurricane. It's not a werewolf skill. Not the werewolf skill. Already a werewolf skill because of this. But I want you to focus more on Hurricane and Cyclone Armor, Storm Strike, and also Claw. Because if you look at the abilities here, this is our cream of the crop. One of the key abilities. Toxic Claws. Okay? Every critical strike with werewolf skills deal 23% of their base damage as poisoning damage. So you instantly poison enemies when you crit. Along with the headpiece, basically in this build, all your attacks and proc poison once they crit. Earth and Might activates, all your skills can poison. That is what is causing everything around you to be poisoned at a really, really fast rate. That is the beauty of the synergy of this one, and this one. Now you're going to ask, what is the beauty of this one? Okay, it says it there. If you do Debilitating Roar, it will immobilize poison enemies for 3 seconds. I wanted to have it for 4 seconds. It will be really nice. This build, the Werewolf Druid Claw build, doesn't have enough sustain, okay? Your only sustain is when you attack enemies. When you heal up, Temerity turns the other excess healing into a barrier, and that's it. That's pretty much it. You can't generate Fortify. You can only generate Fortify via Grizzly Rage, and like I said earlier, Debilitating Roar. So you gotta have this. And not only does Debilitating Roar heal you, it also gives you Fortify, and most importantly, that 70% damage reduction to the attacks of everyone around you, which is really important, especially if you're in high level dungeons. And also you immobilize them. Okay, it just works. It's beautiful. It's a lifesaver. Okay, so next one. So that's the synergy of the headpiece, the gloves, the boots, and also the weapon. Now the pants, self-explanatory. Over excess healing that you get it as a barrier. Okay, when you crit, Earth and Might activates, poison everything. Your crits would heal you via your spirit boons here. Shape-shifting skills heal you for 3% maximum life. Everything becomes a shape-shifting skill, so it would heal you. Amazing. That's good. And of course, this one, nature magic. Everything technically in your arsenal is nature magic except for this one. It can have a chance to lower your cooldown of your Grizzly Rage, which is great. And of course, the Spirit Boon, Calamity, extend your ultimate. I place attack speed here, more attack speed, more Earth and Might procs, and just reduce damage from elites. So I've explained the synergy of this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. This one synergizes well, of course, with Grizzly Rage, self-explanatory. The amulet, more attack speed, more Unga Bunga. Now for the armor piece, it really depends, like I said earlier, well, depends on your survivability in the map. But for me, it's kind of hard to let go of the added armor bonus, you know? Now for the gems, as you can see here, I'm not running any other colored gems except for the skulls here for additional armor. But almost everything is just topaz. Why? Basic skill damage. My two main damaging skills are basic skill damage, so why not, right? For the armor pieces, the topaz grants you damage reduction while you are control impaired. Okay? The Werewolf Druid Claw build would only die if you're not attacking, okay? Unless, of course, you're sitting at an AoE thinking that you're invulnerable or whatever, then you'll die. but in most cases, you would only die if you are stunned or when you have cooldown of your Grizzly Rage. Okay? So that is why I place a Topaz here. So I get like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 50% damage reduction when I get stunned. And for me to survive. Because once I go out of that stun, I'm going to kill them. Okay? So that's good. Anyway, next thing we're going to discuss is, of course, I'm just going to go really, really fast with the skill 3 here. As you can see, this is Storm Strike. Max it out. Go here. Then go Fierce Storm Strike. Vulnerability is always good. For Claw, max it out. Middle. Wild Claw. Why? 10% chance to attack twice, dude. To attack twice. If you attack twice, that's easily 4 attacks. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to proc Earth and Might. Really, really good. Skip everything here except Predatory Instinct. Critical strike chance. Good, good, good. Go down here. As you can see here, I've gotten all the defensive skills, except of course this Earth thing. Bad Earth. So here, I have Cyclone Armor. And go for this one. So the enemies that are knocked back become vulnerable for 3 seconds. I have Bloodhowl. We want attack speed on that thing. And Debilitating Roar. Okay, it's maxed out. When you max out Debilitating Roar, the only thing it does is decrease the cooldown. Okay, it decreases the cooldown. That's just it. But you know what? It really helps me. Really helps me in higher tier dungeons. It saves my ass. That 70% and the immobilize that happens on the poisoned enemies saves you. Trust me, man. It helps. Just go down here, 45, then heal. Another thing important about these things is this one too. So you gotta be aware of this. Okay? Ancestral Fortitude, it's a passive. But this one, 15% damage reduction for 6 seconds after using a defensive skill. You have 3 defensive skills that you can rotate either when you're in Grizzly Rage or wherein you're out of Grizzly Rage. So use it properly, all right? Don't go like every time you just see a cooldown, you just pop it. No. You gotta use it wisely. Remember, when you use something, you gotta check first the 6-second timer, okay? So that this one won't go away. You try and make that possible, you know, while you're in the fight, try to rotate them, okay? So 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds to increase your survivability. You have 15% damage reduction combined with the 25 damage reduction that you're getting from here. Okay, really nice. No companions, you go down here. Hurricane. When Earth and Might procs, this thing would crit everything. And since it's now a wolf skill, it would poison everything. Very, very good. Instead of putting it in vulnerable, don't put it here, put it here. To be more tanky, more survivability. Everything would deal 20% less damage. You would love that. So for this one, Elemental Exposure, just level 1, so that you can go through here. Because you're relying more on Storm Strike for vulnerability. For Endless Tempest, I just made it at level 2 because that's the time it would increase Hurricane from 8 seconds to 9 seconds. For Bad Omen, I went with max. Why? Because if you hit it with Claw, if you hit it with your Storm Strike, if you hit it with Hurricane, with anything, it can proc that lucky hit. Versus Electric Shock. Okay? Electric Shock means dealing lightning damage. Claw, even if it turned into a storm skill, it's still physical damage. So you're missing a lot there. You won't be proccing this that much. So just stay here. Just stay here. And of course, like I said earlier, Neurotoxin, of course you would want this. Everything's going to be poison. More critical strike damage, important. The Creme de Cropa, Toxic Claws, you need this to proc poison to everything. There's a lot more importance to that rather than the damage. I'll explain later in the Paragon Board. So you go down here, just put 1 slot here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, okay? Then Grizzly Rage, then Earth and Might, okay? Now, let's proceed to the Paragon Board. Now, I'm sorry I don't really have a D4 link to explain explain my pathing here, but hopefully my simple explanation would suffice. I'm kind of doing this video in just one run, you know, so I'm sorry if it's kind of lengthy. Hopefully you don't get bored. Anyway, you're seeing all these slots here. Inefficient. Okay, don't care about that. It's because I don't have enough Paragon points yet to reach where I really want to reach. Okay, so let's start here at the starter board. I went from here to up, then here to get this glyph in, this werewolf glyph, because like I said, we want a lot of damage reduction. Okay, and this one not only gives you damage reduction, it gives you increased damage in werewolf form for every willpower that's in there. Okay, that's basically just what I did there. I went this route, go up here. The next board I went to is the Ancestral Guidance board, but I didn't get Ancestral Guidance. I just went straight to here because look at that, 35% basic skill damage. Nutty. So, and also this one, look at that, 17.5% basic skill damage, 17.5% basic skill damage. And go here, just all the way here to Heightened Malice. Okay, so I went Heightened Malice first before I went all the way down here. So Heightened Malice first, grabbed a little bit of survivability there. That 4% maximum life seems good. Then after getting it, I went straight down here. Why here? Because this offers you damage to elites. Look at that, 16% damage to elites. I would love that. 8% damage to elites, yeah, juicy. So I would love that. So I kept all of these things. Went down here, down. But this is the most, one of the juiciest parts are here. You turn left, look at this. Damage reduction from enemies that are poisoned. You get another layer of damage reduction, man, and that's really, really good. All the things that you're gonna poison, they deal lesser damage towards you, and that is really good with all the damage reduction that's happening with this build. That made me survive, you know, being inside a mob of enemies that are 15 levels higher than me, you know. So that's really good. So go down here. And the next node I went for, the next board I went for is Thunderstruck. Storm skills deal 30% increased critical strike damage against vulnerable. My Claw is a storm skill. My Storm Strike is a storm skill. Both of them benefit, so I would get it. So I went all the way here, but do not miss this node, really important node. Look at that, 10% vulnerable damage. I've been hearing that, you know, vulnerable damage is like really, really good. So you gotta have that. Okay, that's why I want them on my rings as well. I'm trying to re-roll them, but it's, you know, RNG is not that really good to me. But yeah, really get vulnerable damage. Get all the nodes here. So as I was saying, my main goal is to actually reach this area. Why? Because I really want this, man. Look, damage reduction from vulnerable enemies, damage reduction from vulnerable enemies. It's the same thing. Same caliber of this. Okay? Can you just imagine? You can inflict poison, and vulnerability. They can coexist in one monster. Okay? This alone gives me 14% damage reduction. Okay? Plus this, 24% damage reduction. Plus my Storm Strike, plus 25% damage reduction. Plus the defensive skill that we talked about here. Okay? I'm not good at math, but I think it's high. Okay? So that's the whole point. That's my strategy. I went all the way here, and I think it has high survivability, man, and high damage. Because I still have a good place here to get damage in. Storm skill damage. This is going to be a good boost to my skills because both my skills here are already storm skills. Okay? I think it's really going to help. And along with this damage reduction you get from here, 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 damage reduction you get from here. Bro, if you play well, you can do like higher. That's why I was able to do higher level dungeons, you know? Not the same level as me, higher. And I would show that in the next video, probably do a dungeon and I'm talking it over to give you guys an idea how I play it, you know, just hopefully it helps, you know.